Hey, what's up guys? And before we get started with today's video, I want to give a huge thanks to every one of you that have watched the previous Railworks Sundays. The video itself got about 150 views by the time this video will come out. As of right now, as of this recording, it's about sitting pretty at a little over 146. And I was really impressed that my first collaboration with a good friend of mine ended up being so popular. So thank you guys so much for watching that video. I do also want to say that the Blackwater branch, which was featured in that particular video, is available for download and is linked in the description of that video. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. I've also linked the Discord to the TS Diesel Works in that previous video's description. But with that said, thank you guys so much, and let's get started with today's video. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Shadow Steel here, and welcome to another episode of Railworks Sundays. Today, we are going to be taking a trip over the Wasatch Grade. Sorry to sound like a bit of a weird situation here, but we got a couple of locomotives here. I'm going to make sure we are cleared to proceed. I think we're good, though. Let me check the map here. Going through there. We're here, so that's the locomotive. Gonna check our switches. But yeah, we're on the Wasatch Grade taking a piggyback train out. And looks like we are aligned outbound here. We're good. Don't see any signal issues out there. Alright, we should be good. We are an extra though, so we should probably set the lights correctly. If I can get the brakes off. There we go. Little bit of effort here. Just, nope, fuck, nope. Kind of bumpy on the train there. Okay. Do we have, let's see here. But yeah, that's a cab light. Instrument lights, we need those. Wipers, no, we don't need those. Taking up speed. We're going to be going upgrade for the most part. Let me see if that switches line for us. We're good. So I'm trying to find there should be classification lights on this locomotive somewhere. Can't see a damn thing. It doesn't look, wait. Does it even have? No, it doesn't. I thought it did. No. Oh no, there's classification lights on the side. Alright, here we go. We're moving. Let's see over here. There might be, no. I guess it is on the back panel here. If I can find it. Usually... Oh, there's some switches here. Class lights. There we go. Going about 11 miles an hour, so we're good. Moving along quite nicely. Yep, we're classified as extra. And we got snow plowing. Nice. We got the clear. We got quite the train today. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh, we got a B unit. We got a couple B units in the mix. Nice. GP30Bs. Now, I should point out this is the Wasatch Grade scenario pack, I believe. So we have quite a bit. I mean, you can tell. Holy crap. There's our piggyback train here. That's our caboose back there. Not bad. Got the lights on the back there. Cool. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, it's using the old default stock sounds, so that's good. We clear through here. We're good. Looks like our next waypoint is straight ahead. Ah! I'm stuck in the thing. Alright, cut the throttle down so we can slow down here. Ah! Why is the train so jumpy? The train is so jumpy. Is that a bridge? Is that a rail bridge up there? Yeah, that is a rail bridge. That is weird looking. Alright, we'll slow down here. We've got... I think we got the clear. Yeah, we got the clear. There we go. Let's get the train moving. So for those that missed it last week, I'm going to link this in the description below and it's all relevant to other places. But the Blackwater branch has been released. And it's in a version 0.1.0 as of right now because it's not really done. But the video showing off the route, which was a collaboration video too, did quite well as of today. It's got 50 views on it, and I also got about a total of 1,100 subscribers as of today, as of recording anyway. So I actually have quite the collection here going on. And now, granted, Railroads Online has been where I've been getting most of my views and subscribers lately. But a couple of videos as of late have actually been okay. Released a short on Friday of a video of part of it of a full video that is out on my channel. Which that is also probably going to have like that. I didn't expect that video. It was a video of the old 1522, the Frisco 1522, which interestingly enough was also featured to some extent in the I don't even know if I sounded 14L or not. Anyway, yeah, it was just like there's a few things that I was doing that was actually quite interesting this week, and there's going to be some more interesting content as time goes on. So, if you guys sit tight, you'll see a lot more content as it comes out. So, yeah, we are train 36. Yeah, locomotive number 36. So it's extra 36 essentially. There's another train coming up. Oh, it's a Southern Pacific switching job there. That's cool. They're in the yard there. Are they? Yeah, they're just switching cars around there. Nice. That's cool. I like that. Oh, no, it's a full train actually. Short little train, so it's pulling into the yard there. Cool. So we should get up to track speed here in a second, or get the ability to run to track speed soon here. So we've gone through that waypoint. Another car over there. So this is actually quite a full yard here. Even though this is from a scenario package, I'm actually quite impressed with how much content is put out. Alright, there we go. We can go 50 now. Get the thing up moving. To think these things, these locomotives were quite the unique sight on the Union Pacific's roster. High horsepower, but very problematic for the Union Pacific. The U50s, as these are designated, are probably one of the weirdest freaking locomotives out there. You can see that they have two different lead trucks and two different trucks in the back here. Two different sets of trucks in the back there. They had two prime movers in the body, able to put out 5,000 horsepower, I believe it was. Is it something like that? Which was quite high, considering that the two GP30s behind us, the GP30Bs, are roughly the same year in terms of their construction date as the U50s. However, these were so notoriously bad. Like I'd heard that these had notoriously bad reliability issues. Many of them caught fire due to electrical issues, but It was one of those things where it's like, oh, yeah, let's rebuild these. And many of them got rebuilt into U50Cs. And those are denoted by the radiator flare in the middle here. Where this vent is, in the middle, that's where the radiator flare... Oh my god! That was a turbine. I didn't even see ya. Oh, he's coming through. Well, that's actually accurate for this. That's actually pretty accurate. The turbines actually did go out to Ogden, Utah. They were based in the Wasatch Mountains, so it's actually quite nice to see one in this game. Though he is booking it. That was impressive. We'll get some speed up here. I mean, we can go about 30 miles an hour, or about 50 miles an hour right now. Well, I don't expect us to stay at 50, honestly. But yeah, the U50s and the GP30s back there, kind of the same era. And the GP30s were pretty more reliable. It was during the high horsepower race. EMD back then had the other offering, which was the DD40X series, which was basically an Extendo SD40, which in hindsight was a pretty successful design and legit had the ability to operate many of these same trains that we're pulling here. There was a service, like they had a nickname for some of those services, which was the Fast 40 Sandwich, where they would literally sandwich an SD40 specifically geared to go at higher speeds between two DD40Xs, and they would run about 70-80 miles an hour with a fast priority intermodal train, which is what this is, which is what we have behind us. And it would basically just, oh, we're at track speed now. And it would basically be very high priority and very well maintained. It was like one of the better one of the more ideal services. Now, granted, there were also times where the SC40 would be sandwiched, like put in a dip, like towards the rear of the two Centennials, as they were nicknamed. But it was definitely a situation where the Union Pacific was not afraid to experiment with high horsepower. It's rather interesting that the only other railroad that experimented with the U50s actually was the Southern Pacific, actually, which is the same area here. Southern Pacific actually had trackage out from Ogden. The Ogden area was the interchange point between the Southern Pacific and the Union Pacific. Why are we leaning so far to the one side there? What the hell? But they did not. I don't think they stayed very long on the Southern Pacific rail system. I'm not sure about that detail. They're not as well known as the Union Pacific variants, because the Union Pacific oftentimes, like, they were still like, they kept these things around for quite a while for the mountain territories. I mean, hell, the Union Pacific is still using the AC6000s that were introduced in the 90s. And those locomotives are also pretty high horsepower, honestly. They're about the same equivalent of the U50s now, or back then, but with one prime mover. So it was a situation where, like, okay, so are we dealing with a, like, the Union Pacific, because most of their railroad was on mountain territory, it made sense that they would, get for higher horsepower locomotives. I mean, the turbines were rated at 8,500 horsepower. So 8,500 horsepower. That was their big claim to fame. And for a long time, they were also using the 4,500 horsepower turbines with the Union Pacific big boys directly behind them. Talk about like high horsepower in a consist. Like, that's like it's not overkill because they were shoving so much freight. I mean, here, speaking of, oh, no, that's a GP. That's a GP. That's a Jeep, not a GP30. I don't know which Jeep it is, but I think it's a GP30 or 35. It's one of the two. I know that, like I said, like the traffic is busy on this line today. Actually, now I think about it. What we got up? We got a 40 coming up here. I'm gonna try and keep our speed up here. I'm gonna try and get up here as fast as we can. But yeah, it's rather interesting to think that the Union Pacific was always an adopter of the high horsepower sort of rules here. So we're going to be going through there. It looks like, do we have a, okay, we do have a go via at a, no, that's not a time destination. Why do we not have a time destination? Oh, interesting. We don't have a timetable destination. We really are an extra. Cool. All right, I'm going to shut the throttle down because we got a 40 coming up here, and we're kind of coming up to it fast. All right, there we go. We're at 40. And we are on a 1.1% grade, too, which is not bad for this locomotive, especially this consist. Consist is rather light, so we're not doing too bad with that. We can keep the throttle up, keep the power up. Yeah, 1.1. We're probably going to need a little bit more power. All right, here we go. A little bit more. Doing it? Yep. No, not. We need more power. There we go. Now we've got power. Going through the switch there. Alright. Coming through another destination here. This should be our next waypoint. Yep, it is. Alright, good. We're at a 40-mile-an-hour limit for now. I'm going to try and find a good location for a screenshot here. This is actually kind of cool. I really do enjoy these locomotives. They're not bad by any means. I mean, a digital train model, I mean, granted, they've never made, like, perfect locomotive models, but I gotta admit, having the weirder shit on these, for the game in general, like, I love just the absurd nature of much of the UP's, like, modern roster. Are we got an approach up there? Was it an approach or a green that we passed? Well, if Kenosha starts playing, you'll find out. But the Union Pacific was just a weird railroad when it came to its motive power. So to have the weirder locomotives in the fleet is just so fun for me. I really do enjoy just seeing the weirder horsepower. And this being like the weirdest of the bunch, like this is kind of the ugly duckling of the Union Pacific's high horsepower fleet. So just having this behemoth powering a high priority piggyback train, which is behind us there. That's actually quite a cool shot back there. That's nice. But the absurdity of just how much tonnage they pulled. And then the weird nature of just like, this is going to be this amount of power. This is going to be this length. Like, how far are we going anyway? We're going about 23 miles on the main line here. Yeah, we cut down the throttle here. All right. Try to not speed up too much here. Oh, that was a horn post. A whistle post. There we go, passing through. And instantly into a 30. Shut her down. Well, not completely, but, you know. I'm going to keep it. We went into a 50. We got like 5 feet before we need to go into a 30. That's just brilliant. I mean, we're in the mountains. We're in the Wasatch Grade, so we won't have a lot of high speed running for this one. All right, shut her down. Need to put the brakes on a little bit. Just a little bit. That's enough. Well, that was too much. Raise the brakes! I slammed the brakes and then I kicked them off. That's great. Do we have a signal we have to call up ahead? Not quite. Alright, we're good. Oh, we're not late. Don't be late. Well, we were not late for like a few seconds, but we're good. I'm going to try and get a thumbnail shot soon. Okay, we got to clear up there. We're good. If we can get a good shot of like maybe a meat or something, I don't know. I hear something up here. Oh, there's a tunnel over here. That's cool. I guess we'll get the shot from the tunnel there. Okay, we're starting to get into the mountains here. Pretty cool. Alright. But yeah, the Wasatch, I actually had a planned series featuring this mountain range. I might still do it eventually. But I was going to make a specific scenario for this grade. Featuring, at the time, it was going to be Smokebox's, or the base Challenger in the game. And then when Smokebox released his version of the Challenger, I decided, okay, we'll just use his then. Little did I know that the frickin' locomotive was so complex to operate over the grade. Now, granted, I might still pull it. I might still try and do it. Because I think the AI, like the auto engineer, is capable of operating over the Wasatch Grade. The problem is the cars. I have what I want to use is the military flats from the S160, which are very awkward to use in the first place. It's a military-based scenario set in World War II, which the Union Pacific would... Which, granted, we don't have a lot of equipment for that. We don't really have a lot of equipment for that at all, really, now that I think about it. But I had like a whole thing planned for it, so... Got another crossing coming up here. Is it a crossing, or is that the tunnel that we're coming up to? I think that's actually talking about the tunnel that's just up ahead here. Oh, hey! Oh! It's a DD-35 right there. That's nice. Let's see if I can get a shot of these two passing by. Oh, it's two different piggybacks. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm going to try and get a thumbnail shot here as we go by. Get the camera in a good spot. We can probably get both locomotives in the shot here. I knew I had seen one locomotive. I heard one locomotive earlier. It's just, I was trying to get the shot of it earlier. There we go. Maybe a little off to the side here so we can get the angle right. I want to try and get all of the cars on the shot here. Whoops. Or at least the whole train there. There we go. Maybe off a little bit so we can get the... Yeah, this is how my freaking brain works. Like, we literally are trying to get a shot for the thumbnail. And I'm basically straight up trying to frame it just right. Alright, hold on. Let me... Wait, we had a decent shot there, too, actually. Trying to get a good angle of the whole thing is kind of tricky. That might do it. It will give us enough room. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, we're not Jake now. Like, we're really pumping it here. Let me see if I can... Oh, that train's going to be we're going to be far enough out of the tunnel. Like, we're going to be in the tunnel and out of the tunnel far enough where we can get the two shots in the position here. We might be able to do that. Depends on if the... Really depends. Got a couple horn blasts there. Still chugging along. Alright. Let's do this. Get an angle from this. Fucking telephone pole. We'll set a camera here. That works. I mean, sort of. Let's see an angle from this. I take random screenshots with pausing the game there. There we go. That's a good one. Alright. Ah, Jesus. There's the caboose. There's Tail on Charlie. Oh, God. Another one of these cabooses, eh? Alright, cool. I'll follow the caboose there. Yeah, he's doing okay. I think we got enough shots out of that. Alright, good. Now, we're still on 1.1% grade. We're not picking up too much speed, but we're kind of staying steady here at 27. What the? Really? If we had maintained our speed just enough, we probably would have been okay. Oh, now I see why we're okay. That's why there's no timing. It's all, you have to maintain your points. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the Wasatch Grade and the series that I was planning. I had like a few of these ideas over the years where I would be doing like a dedicated series on the Wasatch, Sherman Hill. Actually, one of those series I think I started this whole saga series with the Sherman Hill saga years ago. And I think the first video that started it was a video on the Union Pacific doubleheader between the Union Pacific Big Boy, number 4014 and 844. And it kind of needs no introduction because of just how significant that run was in 2019. It's also worth noting that that was just days before, like almost a year before COVID, which that's insane as well to think about. Like, it's been 5 years since then. 5 years since COVID hit, and then 2019. Yeah, it's rather interesting to think how things have changed over the course of just half a decade now. Literally half a decade, and things have so many things have changed. Like, I didn't really get into YouTube seriously, and I never will really. I never really will get into YouTube seriously. I've always seen this as a hobby, and that's kind of the goal with me. Like, I don't really care for monetization. That's one of the reasons why I will never really turn on monetization on my videos unless there's copyrighted material. I will never have ads on my videos, because if there's copyrighted material, that usually triggers ads to play because the owners of the copyrighted material will flag it. So they claim the material, and as a result, I have to have ads on that video. So, kind of a thing there. Still climbing. Oh, not what the fuck? Went level there. Yeah, we went level there for a little bit. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. That was weird. I just noticed our speed was jumping up, and I looked at the grade like, oh, geez. What's our signal there? We got to clear. Oh! You can tell I'm Midwestern because I just said "ope." That's a Midwestern thing for the most part. Okay, there we go. So if I see a notch 2, it holds it kind of steady. Well, maybe not. It's picking up a little bit of speed. What's going on there? Another set of hoppers sitting out there. I don't know if those are ballast hoppers or what. We're kind of in the river valley now, so we won't have a lot of steep grades here. Oh no, well, they are ballast, but it's gondolas, not hoppers. Alright, shut her down. Holy hell! Drops the speed like a stone there for a little bit there. You got water columns over here. Alright. I'm gonna kind of coast here a little bit. I didn't know there was water columns over there. That's interesting. We probably won't be able to coast for very long. But as long as we kind of keep it steady here, we'll be fine. There we go. Yeah, as soon as I pick up the throttle, it just rips open the stick, and we're off to the races for a little bit. That's the one thing about DTM that's always been kind of funny for me. One of the weirder things about DTM. I'm gonna get a shot at this bridge here. Honestly, this is kind of a cool shot. This is where the big boy was photographed. There's a photograph of the big boy. I think it's from Coaster Fan, actually, because he uses it in his thumbnail for the big boy's 2019 excursion, and it's right at this bridge. So kind of get a good shot of this coming through here. Oh, it's coming from the other way though. So no. Here she comes. I don't have the number board lights on. I just noticed that. I don't think I got the shot, but oh well. We'll deal with it later. And I just noticed my number board lights are not on. Do we have number board lights? Probably not. Oh, we do. Just didn't have them on. Okay, we're still picking up speed a little bit. Does that make any difference? It just makes it look worse. Oopsie. I'm going to turn those number board lights off. Thank you. Yeah, that looks better. I'm zoomed in too much. There we go. Alright, where's our next destination? It is about a mile from us here. We're going to be stopping there. It's about 18 miles from us, so not too bad. Kind of figured it would be kind of a long one. It did say 60 minutes. How long have I been recording for already? 30? Huh, alright. We shouldn't be too far out then. Yeah, that's about right. So we're traveling about 30 miles an hour. Well, 25 right now, but enough speed where it's like legit where we're probably going to be there in another 30 minutes or so. Then again, we are jumping up to 50 for a little bit here. It says 50, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Okay, we got a signal up ahead here too. Kind of open up the throttle a little bit. We're on flat running here. It looks like there's a crossing just up ahead too. Signal bridge. We're on a 0.3% grade, so we're not doing too bad in terms of the grades. I know. Oh no, that's a bridge. Okay, that's a bridge, not a crossing. I mean, it would have said something if it was a crossing. Is it? Yeah, that's a bridge. That's a little ditch crosser. All right. Yeah, that's a little ditch crosser. It's the same river. Alright, I don't know how long we have until the 30, like another speed change comes up, but we'll try and grip it and rip it. Okay. Now I will say, for many of you guys that have been watching the videos over the years, I really do appreciate you guys watching a lot of the content that I come out with on the channel. Because I don't get a lot of views, especially with the other videos I put out. But when I do get like videos like the Blackwater Branch preview, the one where I collaborated with Savvy Sage, it was one of those things where like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Gripping and ripping it there. I don't think we'll have a lot of time for this, but we'll see how fast we can go before we have to change speed. But that was one of those videos like, if it performs decent, that's fine. I don't expect it to do well. I didn't expect it to do well because, again, it was one of my own route projects. I brought him along because I wanted to tell a little bit of the... immediately, we have a 40 coming up here. No, 45, so we still got a little bit of speed to pick up. But... he and I, like, it was something I wanted to bring him on for from the very beginning when I was about to release that route, was that I kind of wanted him to kind of tell the backstory of like how the route ended up, how he started it, and then how I eventually changed, like how, and showing off how much I've changed over the years. And that was kind of the thing, was like for both of us, was like, it was more of a situation where I had come up with the Jesus. I had just taken over his project, but I wanted to give his story about just the general feel of the route, like how he started it. And there was it was on, I originally, I think I shared it as an unlisted video. I know that it is featured on at the end of one of my dev logs. Another U50 over there. Cool. That's a piggy. That's the pigs. The pigs. Yeah, it was one of the things where I like, oh yeah, I want to show where, like, I want to give his, have him tell his story about starting the route and getting things like how things got started and everything. And that was kind of the ultimate goal there. Oh, he's just popping into the siding there. Looks like we've got another train waiting up here. Oh, are we high priority? I don't know. Oh, we got a 35 coming up here. We don't have a lot of time, so let's get some brakes on. Hold lap. Waiting for those brakes to kick off here. And he's stopping too. So I guess we are high priority here. Yeah, we're going via here. I do not see a signal in it. Okay. We might get another screenshot from this, actually. Let's do that. This is pretty cool. We got the clear here. He's still... Is he wait? Yeah, he's got the red there. Cool. We got a signal right there. Oh, this is the... That's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a DD... So that's the DD35. That's 2 high horsepower locomotives right here. That is really fucking cool. He's coming up to... We're coming up to a crossing here. I gotta figure out a good position to get the screenshot here as we come through. Ah! Building! Oh, God. I'm trying to get a good angle here as we can get the trains up. There it is. And pause. Yeah, you're gonna get this is gonna get annoying. Probably annoying real fast for a lot of people, because it's literally me pausing every 5 minutes to get a good screenshot here. I think I'll get a little closer here so we can get the angle right. Maybe not. I don't know. Well, that one signal box is kind of in the way there. Okay. Oh, freaking hell. I guess that'll do. It actually has the route sign right over there, so that's pretty cool. There you go. Get a couple shots of that. There we go. Passing through. The horn is at the back. I guess that makes sense. I think. I don't know. Oh. Got a 35 coming up through it. We're in a 35 now, so we're going to kind of shut down and throttle a little bit more so we don't overspeed too much anyway. But yeah, we're at 35. We kind of have a little bit more to go here. He's waiting for us. So we're high priority then. Oh, funny. Alright, match 2. And that's our final destination. That's about 15 miles away from us. So yeah, about 15. We're traveling at 35 for most of the way. So I would say 30 times divided by 15. So yeah, about 15 minutes or so. It's about half of it. 30 minutes. I don't know. No, 30 minutes isn't... Yeah, that should be right. Well, we're picking up too much speed there. I probably should have just... There we go. Gotta make sure we're like just keeping an eye on everything here. Got another whistle post here. But yeah, it's just like that collaboration video was something that I really wanted to do, and I'll probably do like a before and after of how the route looks, like a proper one later on, because like I said, the route's not even close to being done. I did share, like I said, it's at the end of one of the dev vlogs, but it's a video, like a longer video for that. Oh shit, speeding! I knew it. I lost 4 points. That's fine. But a longer video detailing like the route's history and everything. Like there's actually a backstory there for the whole route's history and everything. I was hoping to keep the points all the way up, but that's fine. I don't really care about the points anyway. But yeah, I actually got the voice acting done for that not too long ago, and I just need to get the footage and everything, which also would require me to actually do some reskins, which again, that's another thing I need to finish up, is that I actually have a couple reskins ready to go for that route. I was gonna do like and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have this side project thing called the Blackwater branch, and I have been working on that for the past 5 years. And earlier this week on the 20th, I released it to the general public in a very rough state. I literally, in the files, it's literally called Blackwater Branch version 0.1.0. So not even the full release, not even close to being the full release, but it's a very rough and ready version of it. You can get to end and not really see too much in the way of gaps. There's a couple areas where there's like you can tell that there's still being works done, like a lot of work being done, but not enough where it's like, oh, that's like, this is a completely bare. Well, there is one area, it's the southern rail line, that is still not even remotely touched. But I was focusing on one end, so you can get to end-to-end route and then still have like feel like it's just interesting enough. But currently, as of today, I've released the route to the public. I'm actually getting ready to release at least one locomotive for the route as well as an enhancement pack for the locomotive that was featured on the video that I shared of Blackwater Branch, that featured the route preview and everything. And that is the Frisco 1500s enhancement pack. You may have heard some of the audio from that enhancement pack in that video if you actually watched the video. Like I said, it's going to be linked in the end card and the description below. And there's actually a lot of little details that I'm still kind of like getting everything done for. So there's going to be like, it's going to be an interesting thing to say the least, because I've only released reskins on the TS community website over the past year or so since that site has been around. But it was one of those things where like, yeah, I want to do a little bit more for that. I want to do a little bit more than what I was used to on the website. And I did get a couple comments about the route itself and the requirement lists, because and I think Sage actually mentioned this in his video, in the video as well. Like, the requirements were absurd in terms of well, either he might have mentioned it off the recording, but it was kind of something that I knew was a problem from the very beginning, was the amount of requirements that I added to the list. There are, and I haven't counted this up, but at least 4 additional payware routes added to the routes listing, and they're all for like small little things here and there. The only thing that I've like there's only a handful of things that you really need to actually get the route running. The B&O Mountain subdivision is required for most of the track work. Sherman Hill is required for some of the track work. Aside from that, signals are primarily B&O Mountain Sub and Bessemer Lake Erie. Bessemer Lake Erie is free to download now. You can actually download that from the Railworks America site as Pennsylvanian Steam, so that's good. A lot of the building assets are from various. Most of the assets that, like, most of the requirements are because of building assets. And I just couldn't find the stuff that I needed to make the thing look nice. Now, I'm actually going to probably go through and see what I need and see what I don't need. I mean, Montana Highline. The only reason I chose Montana Highline was because of the grain elevators. And now looking back on it, like, there's a free grain elevator pack. And it's the exact same pack that's on Montana Highline. Just with higher resolution textures on the Great Northern's website or whatnot. Great Northerners website or something. And it was just like, do you want to do this or do you want to make it a little bit more accessible? Now, granted, Montana Highline, I haven't messed around with that route just yet. I actually do plan on wanting to do a couple videos on it soon. But it was one of those things where, like, the list of requirements is just like, why? You wanted a couple buildings from this one pack and that led you to do all this? Like, granted, there's like some buildings, like, for example, the North Wales coastal route is on the list of requirements. That's legit decent because some of the buildings in there, the European style, like older style buildings, are featured in in a few areas that are pretty significant. And I wanted to give that feel of kind of this mixture of American and European buildings. Because there's actually a pretty significant history to that in the route's universal lore. And like I said, I actually plan to release that in a future video. I will link that in the description, but it's not going to be on the main channel here. I didn't see this crossing. I'll probably post it on, like, as a bonus at the end of another video soon, but like probably another devlog. But well, the devlogs are moving over to the Dieselworks channel anyway. Well, that's interesting. But yeah, like you should. But by the way, I have a separate channel for the Dieselworks channel. The Discord and like Dieselworks is my what I use is my hub, if you will, for all my reskinning stuff, reskinning and various other Railworks projects. And it was kind of a startup between me and another friend of mine, or somebody I knew. I don't know what he did. We originally had our own website for a while, and then he just and I was paying for the domain name, but I didn't really know how to edit websites or anything like that. Needless to say, as time went on, he became less and less active, and eventually, that's a work train. That's funny. No, that's not a work train. That's a local, I guess. He became less and less active, and eventually he just left the server altogether, and I had no contact with him outside of that. So I eventually took down, I stopped paying for the website, the domain name and everything. And it was like, okay, well, we're going to have to find another way to share our mods. For a temporarily stopgap, I actually started sharing them on, I had a link to them on the Discord via Mega, the file sharing website. But that, eventually I knew that was going to be kind of like annoying for some people to use. Like, people were not going to be exactly too pleased with doing that. So I decided, well, Railworks America is a pain in the ass to deal with. They're also very old and very clunky. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't watched the Railroads Online video, I do have a bit of a cough, mainly due to pollen allergies, but anyway, aside, anyway. But Okay. That will do. But Railworks America, for all the stuff they have on there, which is all pretty good stuff, they're also very old as a website. Like, it's very old, very clunky. For example, the search bar for the file sharing side of it doesn't work anymore. It has never worked for the past, 3 years now at this point. And it was just one of those things where, like, okay, yeah, we're gonna, oh, I can go 50 now. Floor it! When was I able to go 50? But yeah, it was just one of those things where, like, the site was just like, this is not good. And it was, granted, it was a more visible site. Many people knew of Railworks America. They knew where that site was. But but when the Train Sim Community website came about, and we kind of do talk about this on the Railworks Sundays about the Blackwater branch, that particular one. There is that site, the Train Sim Community website, is a really wonderful site. It's really well done. It's really well implemented. And there's not much in the way of, like, issues with it. The validation and everything you need to do to get all that working and all that stuff. Like, it's, like, yeah, that's something that legit is decent there. So, there's a speed change coming up here. It's a 40. It's a 40. Can we slow down naturally? No, we're not going to slow down enough. And release the brakes. Again. Just slam the brakes on a little bit and then slam them off. That will be fine. Okay. We caught it just in time. But Train Sim Community, as it stands, like, it may be a smaller group that go to it right now because Railworks America is so well known and well received and stuff like that. Like, they're kind of the old school. They're the old OGs, if you will, like, using that old internet term. Or, oh, well, old term there. But the Train Sim Community website, as it stands, like, it's more accessible, if you will. I mean, aside, like, granted, you do need an account, but at least you can label all the requirements of, like, a particular mod in the description, like, in a separate window. Like, you actually look at, like, how it's all set up. Like, it's very impressive. And it was like, okay, yeah, I like this. And I decided to start sharing it from there. Sharing my stuff on there. Now, I'm sure the guy I was working with, he would argue we probably would be just okay with having our own website and links and everything like that. To everything how it was. But to me, it's like, that's not the point of a lot of, like, to me, you make mods just so people to allow people to use them. And if you have such an obscure site like Dieselworks was, or TS Dieselworks actually, that's the full name of it, and, like, you don't get much of attention. The reason when I shared some of my mods on the Train Sim Community website, some of them actually exploded in downloads, and actually one got featured on a video from the Winnipeg Railfan, which is hilarious. I will link his video in the description below, but it's about the heritage units. And he shows a screenshot of one of my reskins. And it just made me laugh, like, wait a minute, that's my reskin there, because I know the very thing. And I'm sure he just went through Google Images and said, like, BNSF heritage unit. And he found mine of the Santa Fe. I think it was the Santa Fe one that he got in particular. And he just grabbed it and put it on the video. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I think that drew some people to see my reskin pack as well, because I later commented on the video itself saying, like, hey man, that's, like, nice to see that my reskin actually made it into the video. And speaking of that reskin pack, I actually might end up remaking it with the new SD70s that were released on Switch Point Simulations, because those look amazing. I haven't messed around with the server, the textures or anything. From what I've understood, those textures might be a little complex, more complex than what the RSC model that I was using is. But depending on various situations, because as of right now, I cannot use the standard SD70s from RSC with the Searchlight simulation stuff, because the way that Searchlight Simulations had made that initial pack was that the BNSF license was not like you could not buy BNSF equipment outside of the United States. That has since changed. But when you still download the particular enhancement pack for that particular locomotive, the SD70 in particular, I think it's the 710, something like that. When you buy that enhancement pack, it will literally change all the files for the BNSF variants to not have the branding on it, and you have to download a separate patch to get the branding to show up. And it's like, well, that's not any good. That's going to make things difficult for the textures. It's the same thing with the Arizona Divide and everything. Like that, there's a pair of the SD45s in particular, or the F45s in particular. I really wanted to make a variant. Oh, that is a 30. Brakes. Yes, I'm well aware I'm shading. Lost a lot more points with that one. That's fine. We're still in the 900s here. What? Oh, wait, are we? Oh yeah, we're coming up to the end there. Cool. That's cool. We're coming up to the end. I think we're coming up to Echo, right? Oh, Devil's Slide. Interesting. All right, we're coming into the siding here. We're going to hold here. Cool. But yeah, it's just like that made things so much more difficult. And to make an accurate representation of what the BNSF SD70s would look like, I was kind of wanting a accurate model of the BNSF SD70s. So far, the only representation that was decent was the oh god, I don't know if it was the ones that RSC had made, but you need it, like the sounds, you know, it's RSC, it's terrible sounds and everything. Now, what the hell is that noise? Oh, we got another train coming up here. There's another. Jesus Christ, how busy is this main line? I know it's a Transcon, but damn. Fuck. Anyway, I've only coughed twice in this video. That's impressive. But yeah, the SD70s were such Switchpoint Simulation seemed to have done a really interesting little thing with how that set. That's how that's set up. And I'm actually going to take a look at how those locomotives operate before I really do anything with them, just to make sure that they're not too complex to operate. Because granted, I try to make things as not as complex as possible. We got the clear, right? Yeah, we got the clear. All right, there we go. But yeah, it's just like I am interested in seeing how those locomotives operate, how they run. Because they got PTC, they got PCS. They have basically all the safety features modeled for them. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least, to how they work and everything. So, needless to say, I'm going to try. Oh, I think this is the bridge where the big boy was photographed at. Yeah, this is it. So what was that Devil's Slide? Okay, cool. It's coming out from this end of the tunnel. Okay, cool. Okay. Either it's this bridge that they were coming out of. Yeah, this is the bridge. This is Devil's Slide. So he actually, how the hell did he do that? But yeah, I just figured reworking those. And again, another thing I want to rework is the AC44s, not the AC44s, the ES44s that I made for that pack in particular. Oh, we still have 2 miles. What the fuck am I doing? I thought I had a lot more to go. Okay. I didn't think I was this far out, but okay. But yeah, it's just, I will in the future hope to re-release an update to those SD70s that use the Switch Point Simulations products and kind of all that stuff. So, and of course I'll make sure to ask and everything, but before I release them. But essentially, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Trying to use the Denver and Rio Grande side of whistles, so. But yeah, it looks like we're getting close to the end here. Got about a mile and 3/4 out before we reach our destination. And how long have I been recording for? About 60 minutes. Okay. They were not bad on the timing on that scenario there. Cool. Alright, we're at 30. Coming up to a 40 here, so that's not bad. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to slow down here. Because we're coming into the siding. I'm assuming we're coming into the siding. Nope. Okay. Are we? Yeah, siding. Siding and siding, yep. So we're holding at the siding here. That's our signal indication. Signal indication is an approach. Shut her down. Get her ready to stop. I wonder what train we're waiting for here to pass us. Unless we're transferring over to the other track. Is it left-hand main or right-hand main to get out over? I think left-hand main is for the outside of Ogden. And then it's right-hand main over the majority of the pass. So, might be. Yeah, I think we transfer over to the other track here. Okay, interesting. Okay, speed limit's still 30. Bounce. The whole train back there. We've lost a little bit of points, but that's not too bad. And don't worry, I didn't forget about the Century, the Century Series locomotives that I was doing a video on earlier. I will talk about that in another video. Well, when I get to that, but you know, okay, we can go 40 for a little bit. Okay. Keep this moving here. Oh, okay. Underpass. Going over an overpass. That's cool. Alright, there's our speed limit, 20 miles an hour. I knew we were going to be slowing down. Cutoff number 3. And it's all towards the end of the video. Great. That's funny. Alright. Keep her steady. I'm going to shut off the throttle. Get into the siding here. Alright. Shut her down. Open her up a little bit so we can get the throttle back open. There we go. There's that initial jump of speed and then we slow down again. Okay, what's our signal here? Another approach. Got it. And we're lined into it, correct? Yeah, we're lined in. It's all automatic signals anyway. I don't know why I think I'm going to need the switches. I mean, that I think is automatics right there. Alright, here we go. There we go. Right through. Coming through. Just passing through. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of coast our way in, or not coast our way, but kind of get in here as best we can. Not have the camera just that far out here. There's a couple good screenshots for thumbnails, I gotta admit. And considering we were an extra, I figured I had the class lamps on because we were technically an extra. We're not a scheduled service. Okay, next waypoint is in, I can't tell, about 3/4 of a mile by the looks of it. Okay, shut her down a bit, shut her in notch 1. But we stop on a dime, so that's pretty good. We won't have to worry about the brakes too much. Alright. Well, that was quite a run. And we've been recording for a little over an hour, which is about right. I did say it would take 60 minutes to do, and it's about 60 minutes and some change. So, yeah. Voice crack. Well, I think I'll finish the scenario. I'll finish the video here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I try to cut these as short as I can, really, or try to basically like trim them, not have them like showing the, like, because you obviously knows what's going to happen at the end of the, you guys know what the end, how the scenario will end. It will end at me stopping at the waypoint and just say scenario complete. That's it. So like and comment down below, subscribe if you guys want more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.